What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Jean-Pod Van Damme cast. It is Jeff and John in studio in beautiful Wyandotte, Michigan, where it's ice raining and it's really cold.
And everyone is scared that a tree is going to fall on them or their loved ones.
Yeah, man. I know Australia has drop bears. We have falling trees here in Michigan, so watch out. But today's going to be a special episode. We realized kind of after talking about this that, like, we're done with Van Damme's filmography. You know, we just did the commercials that he was in, and
Very
now
fun.
we're going to be doing sequels and prequels. But we were like, let's do something in between and kind of do the thing that we do best and talk ourselves up here. So we decided we're going to do like a little fun episode, a little small episode of some of our favorite moments from doing this. It's been now 2 years. Which is kind of weird to say.
Yeah.
Like we've been
Holy
going
shit.
this long almost, you know, it's close to 2 years. The idea, like I said, started in July 2016. The idea of it was all behind the scenes. We talked about it. It didn't come into fruition until I think, was it September or October? We recorded quite a handful of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did it again towards November.
Didn't we mention something about like the election in one of the
that's
episodes?
how I remember. Yeah, we talked about the election, and it was just kind of like, oh, hey.
Dating ourselves.
Yeah, we were dating ourselves in it. Yeah, definitely. So really cool to see that this has come a long way. I know, I think it was released in November. I want to say that's kind of when it started, or the beginning of December. But we recorded throughout that time.
Little holiday present.
Yeah, we had quite an enjoyable time with it, and man, we flew by.
Yes.
It totally flew by.
I can't believe we went through the entire filmography.
Yeah.
To date.
Yeah, man.
To date.
Yeah, to date. Yeah, put that asterisk there. It's coming. Blackwater's coming out. We've talked about how Saban, I think, bought the rights to it for the American distribution rights.
It's going to tie in with 17th iteration of Power Rangers, I believe.
Man, yeah, it's going to be a great crossover.
Have you heard about
Blackwater Ranger?
That actually sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, man. No, what were you saying, though?
Have you heard about that Power Rangers comic, the big crossover comic, where they did a live-action trailer with the Green Ranger, Jason David Frank in it?
No.
It's called Power Rangers Shattered Grid.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, there's an evil alternate dimension Green Ranger that's going around to different dimensions with Power Rangers and like stealing their power tokens. It looked really interesting and had
that looks kind of cool.
Full had a full live action trailer for it with the actual Green Ranger, and he had Lord Zed's staff in it and stuff.
Oh, no way.
I didn't see it. I wanted to.
Oh,
it
that's
looked
sweet.
really cool. I love Jason David Frank. We should do a podcast on him sometime.
Seriously, that'd be fun. We should, man. Definitely. Now, we were just going to go over some of our favorite moments of the Jean-Pod Van Damme cast and talk about a little bit of everything and nothing. This is a loose-based episode. We were chatting and we were like, why not do this? Because we went through all this hard work and, you know, it was a labor of love.
For sure.
And we had tons of fun with it, but before we get into like the next journey of the Jean-Pod Van Damme cast, like let's reflect back on the previous chapter, man.
Yes, it's been a long road, cowboy.
It has. It definitely has, and we have nowhere to run now.
Nice.
So the first question I got to ask you, man, is what is one of your favorite episodes, or what is like? Yeah, let's go with this one first. What is your favorite episode that we've done?
Oh, that'd be tough. I really enjoyed the Bloodsport episode.
Oh, me too, man.
Us actually, well, mainly you, getting to watch the director's cut of Cyborg, a.k.a. it was Slinger, right? That was so cool. Like, it was amazing to see the original vision for the film and all the bizarre twists and turns and how different and artistic it was. That I really enjoyed, too.
Yeah, that was a good one. That one, I realized when I was looking back at all these, what I originally wanted to do was go back and kind of pull some stats from our shows and see which one we rated. And Bloodsport, I think, got the highest marks ever. But there was a couple other ones that were up there. But I wanted to be like, which ones we rated the lowest? I think Derailed takes that honor.
Yeah, that movie was...
But I just... I couldn't believe that Slinger was was closer to the beginning than it was the end.
Yeah.
I thought like we were like 20 or so episodes deep into it, and then I like looked and like, hey, Slinger's just like right there.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty much a few episodes after Cyborg. I was just like, wow, I didn't realize how close we did those two together.
I know.
Well,
we caught the fever for it after learning that.
Yeah, seriously, and the fact that I found it,
Yes,
I was
that's
able
so
to find
cool.
it. Now it's a part of my collection. Just
Oh yeah.
really makes me happy. One of my favorite moments too, besides I think Bloodsport's always going to be my favorite episode that we did, but definitely No Retreat, No Surrender.
Yeah.
When we're talking and we read and we found out that he hurt the guys that were reading trivia. And he like literally kicked people, and then we were going to call the number on that building for the martial arts because it was a real number. I think if we would have called it that, the show would have took a different turn.
Yes.
It was absolutely insane. But
yeah, it started a reoccurring theme of learning about injuries
man.
that he inflicted.
Yeah, definitely.
Controlled kicks.
Controlled kicks, yeah. Yep. And to hear, what was his, Liam Hemsworth's impression of him too was just absolutely hilarious. I mean, it was just, that was so funny, that whole thing. And he actually told that story on another talk show too.
Really?
Yeah, he
left
did.
a big impact on him.
Yeah.
Multiple ways.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. But, I know we kind of already mentioned it, but maybe you might have a different answer. What is one of your least favorite episodes that we did that you were just like, oh, I'm glad this movie's done and over with?
Well, yeah, Derailed, definitely.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, in some ways it was so bad it was good. Like the special effects in it. Oh my God. Like you can actually see the green tint on them from the green screen.
Yeah,
like,
man.
His later films, a lot of them really blended together. Like the ones in Eastern Europe, like, you know, his mid 2000s to early 2010s were really, And then, oh crap, I can't remember the name of the movie. Welcome to the Jungle.
I was gonna say that one. That one left a lasting impression on you.
Yeah, I never did like the sophomoric, like National Lampoon early 2000 type movies. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love stupid humor. Like I love Dumb and Dumber and like Super Troopers and Pineapple Express, but like
that one was just too much for you.
Yeah, I don't know. It was it seemed really
that one I know this stat off the top of my head too. That one was the only one where we had such a vast difference on our ratings for it. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, normally we're within one. Normally we're within like a 0.5.
Half split. Usually
within one split.
Yeah, we're pretty close in our ratings, but that one totally took a turn.
Yeah.
For a while there, we didn't know if we were going to do the show again.
Yeah, it got pretty physical.
That heated. We had a split off, and I barely won it. I barely won it this time because if you recall, if you built it up, Jeff like got his splits right away in the beginning. I was so downtrodden after he was just like, "Oh, I'm already done." I was like, "Are you serious?" It took me forever to learn the splits, but he got it in like episode 8,
it's true.
Maybe even earlier than that. And so I had to fight back. And finally, after Welcome to the Jungle, I put that American quarter in his hands and I swiped it out while I was doing the splits, and he thought he had me, and then he had a Canadian quarter instead. So definitely, it was that brought our friendship back together.
It did. Although I did split my pants in the process, so I guess I lost in the end.
See, that's why you got to get those Chuck Norris action jeans, man. So, joke's on you. But
we all learned a lesson that day, really.
Yeah, we did. It was good times, though. I would have to say Derailed is up there. The other, I think towards the tail end of it, when you're watching these, and like I'm looking at the length of the film.
Oh man, where you're like, 2 hours.
It's close to exactly.
Hour and 48 minutes.
Hours.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, I do not want to watch this, and like, half the time I'm watching it in double the speed just because I cannot do it. I just can't do it.
Yeah, and then you're watching one that's like a sequel, like that one Universal Soldier.
Oh yeah, that weird.
Yeah,
the weird Universal Soldier.
Where he has
Marlon
like the
Brando.
weird war paint. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That was rough because like it's just such a different animal from the spirit of the original and the sequel.
Yeah,
the first sequel.
Yeah, that one was absolutely insane. And then I heard like they wanted to do stuff even more different from what they were doing too.
I feel like they have an idea in their head for what they'd like to do for a vehicle, and they just kind of do a lot to ignore the spirit of the original movie.
Yeah.
I mean, not that it's like Shakespeare or anything, but if you're making a sequel, you should at least try to honor the spirit of the original movie instead of making it entirely different and just having passing resemblances and terminology from the original movie.
Yeah, dude, it really was like kind of the 80s movies, which we'll obviously get into when we get into the sequels of these films, where they're just like, hey, let's make a sequel to this. It has nothing to do with the original. We're just going to put the title on the name.
Yep.
And it's like nowadays you don't really see that too much. Sometimes you see that in horror films, like some of the Dead series, where it's just kind of like, oh, hey, George Romero, we're not even going to pay you, but we're going to call this like Dawn of the Dead 2, and it just has nothing to do with anything.
And then there was a whole like Return of the Living Dead debacle.
Yeah.
Although I did enjoy the first two.
The Return of the Living Dead?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, those are good.
Cheesy pleasure.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. But what are some of the memories that stand out in your head, too?
Let's see. I think just learning so much, like, about his life in general, his career, like, how insane his life was. Like, all that I learned about Bloodsport through this, like, I had no idea about Frank Dukes and what a crazy person he was. Like, his crazy records that made no sense. Like, he had like records that like conflicted each other.
Yeah, the fastest punch thrown and the fastest kick KO.
And there were like different measurements.
Yeah, it was like, how do you measure these?
Yeah,
like,
one was in like miles per hour, and the other was in speed.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, and you're just kind of going,
like it was like timed speed. Like it was really strange.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, man. No, that is the interesting thing about. We talked about Cyborg and basically fell in love with it again.
Yes.
The fact that it was just supposed to be this rock opera. And it was
such a wild idea.
Idea went from like basically kind of being in black and white and just having music playing. And then it went into this.
It was like inspired by like Fist of the North Star.
Man. Yeah, the guys all had names after guitars, and as a kid, I didn't think anything of
Fender
it,
and Gibson.
Yeah, and you start like looking at it, and you go, "Oh, no way!"
It's weird.
Wow.
How many elements ended up staying around with it?
Yeah, exactly. They just stayed. They were like, "Oh, whatever, we're cool." And seeing his career like in older eyes, and just seeing how he rises to fame, and then
it's such an unlikely journey.
It is such a weird journey.
You know, a Belgian martial artist / ballet dancer.
Yeah.
With limited English skills.
He's very limited, which in
his later
years of life is getting worse and worse. He's just like forgetting his English.
And then, he just rocketed.
Yeah,
he demanded like $8 million to be in the Street Fighter movie. I think it was like $8 million or something. Some insane amount.
It was an insane amount.
And he got it.
Yeah, man. Making tons of money, doing tons of blow, and sleeping with tons of women.
Yep, throwing tons of controlled kicks.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely crazy to think. I mean, because even in a weird way, because like, obviously, the action movie stars all kind of have their tropes and whatnot, and everyone's just all kind of like, but everyone still has like a weird respect for Stallone and Schwarzenegger. And then like Van Damme is just a little bit beneath them. You know, people kind of laugh at him and stuff. But then you have like Seagal, who's just like, everyone's like,
he's reviled, especially with the rape allegations.
Yeah, I know now. Yeah, exactly. And
multiple rape allegations.
Yeah, seriously,
and then,
man.
like all the crazy shit he's pulled, and all the accusations of his martial arts expertise being bullshit.
Right. Yeah, man. Yeah. So it's kind of it's weird to see like how this comparison chart of all of them, because like you said, still to this day, people love Stallone and Schwarzenegger, and I know. There was a thing in the news. I know we said it too. We were like, after we did Expendables, it'd be like, oh, it would be such a heartbreak to hear Stallone do something like this at the time that all came out. And then this allegation came out on him. No, never went anywhere.
No.
But apparently they were like, oh, the 16-year-old said he like forced her into having a threesome, and it was just that one was really weird.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm not taking anything away from the girl or anything like that, but nothing was ever heard of it again.
To be fair, she didn't make 6 Rocky movies or anything either, so.
Yeah, right? No. It was just absolutely, that one was weird. That one was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I don't know the details.
Right, yeah.
I just
Who
presume
knows, maybe
I
something-
presume innocence because I like I like Sly. I
Yeah. Well,
don't want to think of him in that light. I mean, if there's damning evidence.
Right. Yeah, exactly. When it keeps coming out one after another story from another different woman
Yeah.
and stuff, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to try to dissuade yourself from those accusations. And on top of that, though, too, like I like what you said, not to get political at all on a Jean-Paul Van Damme cast show, but the idea in America, at least, of innocence until proven guilty. So I mean, it is as someone who, not to dust off my own shoulders, but went to law school. I mean, that's kind of something that you're drilled into. You know, this idea of just having to be like, hey, the facts, the evidence, everything has to be there. But yeah, that was absolutely crazy. And I'm actually kind of surprised, like nothing ever came about from Van Damme even.
Yeah.
I mean, because back in the day there were stories, him trying to hit on women and stuff, and the whole MTV spring break he was at. Saying
there's a lot of opportunities for some crazy inebriated on the influence shenanigans.
Yeah, definitely. But it was also kind of relief to not hear anything from Van Damme.
I mean, he was a party animal and a debaucherer, but apparently he wasn't a
at least
creep.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. He was a creep at a certain level.
Yeah,
he was over the creep level.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, it's cool though. Like getting back to his career, or this rising star in the '80s, and then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, he just becomes this megastar in the '90s.
Yeah, and
then what's even more mind blowing is that it was almost collectively people went, he's actually not that good. And then he kind of fell off.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's just like the style of movies changed to where they didn't want a martial arts superstar as much as they did previously, because his big skills were, like his fight scenes, and he had his natural charisma about him.
Yeah.
And his comedic timing is excellent.
Oh, yeah.
In all of his movies. I think his movies where they're more focused on serious action, they don't play to his strengths, and I don't like them. They're not as enjoyable.
Right, yeah.
And as the style of movies changed, like around the time where his movies started to decline, you had more movies like Wrongfully Accused and Frantic, like other like suspense thriller action ones that rely on, less martial arts action, more drama and, suspense.
The suspense, yeah.
Yeah, suspense thrillers became really big in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, what movie was it that we were talking about where the fuck's the Chinaman? And he's drilling. My mind's not.
Oh, which movie was that? Where's the fucking Chinaman? Give him the fucking drill!
But someone said in an interview, like I was actually looking up stuff, and I don't know why this came up, but it came up that they said, oh, this is Oscar worthy. And I kind of started laughing, and I was like, this one's the one that you thought was Oscar worthy? I mean, not that he did a terrible job. I think we even said in that episode how surprised we were with his acting and whatnot in it. Because, it came at a time where just that type of action wasn't what people wanted to see anymore in movies. They wanted something different. It was weird to see like how action had evolved and how now it's almost like coming back slightly in weird ways. It was like you had Transporter out there kind of, and that one was like, oh, hey, that's an interesting take on thing. But the Fast and the Furious, that was like the franchise that kind of brought people back into like this weird, like, hey, I can turn my brain off and enjoy a movie.
Super octane, action fest, explosions.
Exactly. Mission Impossible, like still going on to this time.
Yeah, still haven't seen any of them.
Yeah, I watched the first one basically, and that's it. And I was just like, wow, they're still making these.
Well, I mean, it's the only franchise he's made that's, still actually doing pretty well.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's still making its money. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And then the Bourne series. That was another one that got people excited too. But that was also kind of thriller action as well.
Yeah.
But like you're starting to see some of the
Taken,
coming back. But it's a great blessing sometimes when you're watching a film and you don't expect it, and then all of a sudden it is just straight action film. It's just like, wow, I haven't seen one of these in some time. Yeah.
Well, like it's a lot of movies these days, they rely more on special effects, CG. Because it's so easy to do. Instead of finding someone who can act and has had 20 plus years of martial arts training.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of the sad thing about it too, man. Like when I actually see a legitimate real explosion, like I know Michael Bay gets crapped on for some of his stuff, but like it is nice to see a real explosion every once in a while compared to a CGI one, or the blood packets. That's the thing that kills me the most. I hate CGI blood. I want my blood
awful. They do that so much in modern movies.
I know,
especially like outside of America. I feel like it seems like most movies have like fake blood, like CGI blood. It just looks terrible.
It looks so bad. So bad.
Like the Expendables that had CGI blood,
dude.
And when they did that, super obvious.
Yeah, for real.
I think that people that's pretty panned. Like that one Wolverine movie that got leaked early, X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Oh yeah,
had CGI claws and CGI blood.
Yeah, the CGI claws were
really bad.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
people prefer practical effects when you can.
I think so too. And I mean, even looking at stuff like Ghostbusters, for instance, you know, kind of like you see what they did back in the day compared to even now with the CGI. I was like, I miss puppetry.
Me too.
It's just like
that's why I love like Guillermo del Toro and like other people that are willing to put the effort into putting the extra money into practical effects.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, you can use CGI to touch it up.
Right,
which I think makes it look even better.
Yeah, man, definitely. Some of that stuff I definitely agree. If you can use the best of both worlds, but sometimes it's just like, man, it's missing, and it's just like, bring Jim Henson's studio in there, please. Let's do something, great. Man. So it's nice
Winston
to see some of this.
And, you know, so many great studios that really got left by the wayside. Because CGI became king.
Yeah, definitely. And I think people nowadays are kind of realizing it's coming back. It's just like, hey, why don't we do the best of both worlds? And like you said, you know, have highlights of CGI on these puppets. But, you know, maybe one day we'll get a Van Damme puppetry film.
Oh, one sweet day.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So we talked about some of our favorite episodes, some of our least favorite, some of our favorite moments and whatnot. I think another one that really kind of I got to give the shout out to, which I've been doing kind of lately, is when Marcus contacted us.
Yes.
And he was just like, hey guys, I'm a Van Damme fan too. And we tried. That was my favorite and least favorite because
agonizing, man, trying to get that episode rolling.
Yeah, the internet. It's no surprise that the studio that we're in here, it's an old building. So like Wi-Fi is just almost hard to get through these old plastered walls.
Yep.
So it definitely, you know, the call dropped. It was great. We thought, oh my gosh, it's finally working. Marcus is coming on, we're talking, and then all of a sudden dropped right within 10 minutes of it. And I was like, okay. And then we tried to, and then scheduling conflicts, unfortunately.
We're getting like delays in the response. We're like, crackling.
Yeah. Another least favorite moment is not being able to find Van Damme's reality television show.
Yes.
And then I looked it up online and on Amazon. At first I thought it was only going for like $40. It's going for $100.
Ooh.
I was like, I'm not paying $100 for...
We'll do a GoFundMe too.
Yeah, I know, right?
And then we'll disappear on them.
Yeah, I think another one of my favorite moments, speaking of sociable charity, is patreon.com/podbros and our super secret Jean Pod Van Dammecast episode that only a select few get to hear, which I think you guys will really enjoy it. For only $1 a month, you can get this awesome, amazing, super secret episode. Or if you want to be charitable and go on Amazon, please use our link and buy us that JCVD Behind Closed Doors reality show. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Gives us a little bit of kickback, doesn't cost you anything extra.
And we bring the entertainment to you.
Yep, and we bring it to your ears, definitely. But yeah, man, I think that wraps it up. What do you have anything else? Is there any least favorite memories that come from your mind?
Let's see. No, not really. It's mainly been extremely positive. Like seeing all these everyone looks at me with like confusion and awe when I tell them that I've seen the entire Jean-Claude Van Damme filmography.
Yeah, man.
Especially when you tell them how many films it is. They're like, wait, he kept making movies in the after the 90s? Like,
yeah.
Oh, yes, he did.
Yep. Yeah. Well, no, I think you're totally right.
About 7 of them were good.
Yep. Yeah, dude. I think that is one thing, too. Another thing that has me cracking up all the time is people, when they find out that we have this, or they go, oh, what podcasts do you do? And, name the ones that we do, and then you name Jean Pod Van Dammecast, and everyone loses it.
Yeah, they actually, they say, that's awesome, what a great idea.
It has, honestly, has gotten probably some of the most positive just comments from people. when I mention it. They're like, other people are like, when you tell them what you're doing, they're like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's really great. You know, that's great that you're doing that. Blah blah blah. But when they hear Jean-Pod Van Damme cast, they just lose it.
It just awakens a childlike joy.
It seriously does, man. It really does. Like in a way, it's one of those things.
When you introduced the idea, I was just like,
yeah, man. Yeah, that was
exact same reaction.
Yeah. And I'm glad. Seriously, I know I already said it before on the other episode, but thank you for taking this Van Damme journey with me.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
Oh, dude, it was an absolute blast.
Oh yeah,
absolute blast.
Still going strong. And if you guys, I'm sure you're probably tired of hearing us saying it now, but we're continuing on, and just the vein of Van Damme, where we're reviewing the sequels and prequels to the movies that he starred in. And basically those that actually Van Damme was a main character in. We're not going to do some of those other ones where it was just yeah. Though we are doing No Retreat, No Surrender in the sequels to that, so we'll see how that goes. But, all right, that's it. That was a good touching ending, leaving it off of basically other people's reactions when we tell them. I liked that. That was fun. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that about wraps it up. Also, please consider rating us 5 stars on your favorite podcatcher app, and I'll stop talking there. I'm John. And I'm Jeff.
And you've been listening to a fun episode of the Jean-Pod Van Damme cast. Now let's go tell more people about our show.